Hello and welcome to MyNewtNews. I am not a newt. My name is not Newt, but you can call me Newt. And believe me, I've been called worse. Today I'm going to talk to you about inflation, shrinkflation, and, wait for it, deception. The first article I'm going to talk about is on a website called Quartz. To be honest, I never heard of this website. I got here through roundabout means from a news aggregator, but I thought the article was interesting. As far as I know, the information is accurate, short of, going down and weighing and checking and going in the time machine into the past to look what it previously was. I can only do what I can do. How companies are hiding inflation without charging you more. Do consumers notice when their everyday products get smaller? I know I have. Often they don't, and companies are taking advantage by reducing the amount of product they sell while keeping the prices the same. Shrinking product sizes to pad profits is not a new tactic, but it grows in popularity during periods of shortages and inflation. Some consumers are noticing and documenting their shrinking groceries on the Shrinkflation subreddit. To put this in perspective, let me just say, especially the ladies out there, the people in the LGBTQ community, I think they notice when the package is smaller, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, moving right along. What is the meaning of shrinkflation? Blah, blah, blah. Downsizing product, keeping its price the same is basically that. And that's been going on for a while. I mean, this is not a new thing. Downsizing comes in waves. It tends to happen during times of increased inflation. Edgar Dworsky, consumer rights lawyer that keeps track of downsizing of products on consumerworld.org. Bottom lines are being pinched, and there's three basic options. Raise the price directly, take a little bit out of the product, or reformulate the product with cheaper ingredients. And I think those of us who were alive well into the last century remember how that new Coke thing went over. And I know they swore up and down that there was the same amount of carbonation in it. I do not believe it, because I tried it in one of their in-store things and it seemed flat. And I thought, okay, well, they just didn't have their mix right or whatever. But when they did it, when I tried it out of a can, same thing, tasted flat. And I didn't think, I heard that they were trying to make it taste more like Pepsi. I thought it tasted more like, one of the downscale Shasta or store brand sodas, colas. So that didn't work out well for Coke. And, sometimes when you get greedy and think, hey, our consumers love us just because of the Coca-Cola name, and we can still make our product taste more like the number 2 product, because that's why people drink the number 2 product, is only because of the taste. And they don't care about the taste of our product. I mean, who would believe that? Who is sitting in the boardroom going, oh yeah, I think that's right? That is the dumbest thing in the world. Some of these companies, it's like, you're idiots. Okay, it's not like you're idiots. It is the fact that they are idiots. See, now you got me off on a rant. Okay, I know it's not your fault. I'm a self-starter on those. Companies usually want to keep their consumers happy without direct increases in products' price. They also want to keep their prices competitive with companies selling similar products. Not all size changes are born from profit seeking. New regulations that limit calories or the amount of sugar in a product can cause a product's size to change. Companies use a PPP model, or price pack purchase model, to determine how to target products in specific channels for the right prices. Examples of shrinkage. Bounty triples. So, used to be 165 sheets, now 147 sheets. So, 3 fewer sheets per roll. Crest 3D White Radiant Mint, 4.1 ounces, now 3.8 ounces, 1 fewer brushing. Which, if you do the math, that works out to maybe, if you're using 3 ounces per brushing, for a couple, they're going through that in a week, which seems a bit much to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I have been in the past. Doritos, 9.75 ounces, 9.25 ounces, 5 fewer chips. That means, for you math nerds out there, that each chip weighs 0.1 ounce. So if you're eating 10 chips, you're eating an ounce. Wheat Thins family size original used to be 16 ounces, now it's 14 ounces. But you know, this inflation stuff does not always work, because I drink the Walmart brand, what is it, something American. Anyway, the Walmart brand of flavored water, you know, kind of like bubbly except cheaper. And it used to be $2.77 for a 12-pack. And then suddenly, after inflation started making dents, they raised it up to $3.87, which is well over a 33% increase. And apparently they had a lot of lost sales from that, because here recently I noticed that they dropped it back down to $2.98, which of course is still more than it originally was, but it's a lot closer. They should have just stepped it, you know, raise it a little bit. And I would not be a bit surprised if 3 or 4 months from now they're going to knock it up to, you know, $3.15, $3.18, $3.21, something like that. But back to the story. Procter & Gamble makes Crest toothpaste, and at Modelins, which makes Nabisco Wheat Thins, confirmed, and at Modelins, which makes Nabisco Wheat Thins, confirmed reductions in their products' volume. Okay, is it just me, or does that sentence look wonky? But did not disclose the reasons why. While Crest 3D White does now sell a 5-ounce tube, its 4.1 ounce tube shrunk to 3.7 ounces. So see, that's kind of a smart way to do it. You know, you put more in it, which, you know, usually it's you're paying a lot for packaging. So to make a 5-ounce tube of toothpaste versus a 4.1 ounce tube, it's probably not a 25% increase in cost for them. So if you can charge 25% more for it, so like if the 4.1 ounce tube was $1 and you sell the 5-ounce tube for, you know, $1.25, $1.29, you're probably still having a price increase as far as in comparison to your costs, because, you know, the slightly bigger amount of the length of the tube, it's going to cost them a little bit, but it's not going to cost them much. And again, the same thing with cardboard box. The main thing would be the equipment and gearing up to make the change. You know, a lot of times when they're doing packaging, it costs a substantial amount for the setup and the tooling. But as far as toothpaste tubes, I'm thinking that's not the case. I don't know. But chances are they could sell the 5-ounce tube for what people will think is a reasonable amount compared to the 4.1 ounce tube, and still make an increased profit, and still selling the 3.8 ounce to, you know, to give people an option. Bounty, according to a representative at Procter & Gamble, got better as it got smaller, since the paper towels are more absorbent than they used to be. Of course they are. Gatorade, the sports drink brand of PepsiCo, recently replaced its 32-ounce bottle with a 28-ounce bottle for the same price. That's the equivalent of a 14% price increase. Basically, we redesigned the bottle. It's more aerodynamic and easier to grab, said a company representative. The redesign generates a new cost, and the bottles are a little bit more expensive. This is only a matter of design. Of course it is. But the problem with that is that the Gatorade bottle used to have a distinctive look, so that, you know, people could see it without seeing the label and know, oh, that's Gatorade, you know, as opposed to, you know, the new bottle, which looks an awful lot like a Powerade bottle. So I'm wondering if people are going to start grabbing Powerade thinking it's Gatorade, not bothering to look at the bottle, and it may actually cost Gatorade some sales just because of the price or the look confusion. Now, on the other hand, this may be more of an industry standard bottle that, you know, a number of companies use, like Powerade or some others. So they may be able, just because it's a redesigned bottle, they may be able to get it, you know, pre-manufactured at bulk for a cheaper price without having to make their specific look bottle. Gatorade did not respond to questions about whether its customers preferred the aerodynamic bottles or the difference in manufacturing costs, because they don't care. I'm very confident the difference in cost between a 28-ounce plastic bottle compared to a 32-ounce plastic bottle for the type of plastic used in water bottles is probably less than 2 cents. But again, if you've got your bespoke custom bottle versus, that you may make, I don't know, $1 million a day, probably not that much, but okay, 100,000 a day, versus one that is used by multiple brands, multiple companies, that the manufacturer makes 500,000 a day, because the more you make, the lower per item cost is. So I'm willing to think this may very well be a break even for them, and they don't want to mention it. Who knows, it may be even a slight cost savings for them, because 4 ounces of Gatorade, that costs next to nothing. But you multiply that over a year's time by 10 million bottles of Gatorade, or 100 million, or half a billion, or however many they sell in a year. If you sell 100 million and you save 2 cents, that's a substantial amount of money. What is that? Over $1 million, I think. I don't know. I'd have to stop and do the math, but you see where I'm going on that. Okay, one of the most puzzling reductions is family size boxes of products. The average size of a U.S. family has been increasing, according to data from the U.S. Census Bureau. Yet a box of original Wheat Thins used to be sold in family size 16-ounce boxes and now packaged as 14-ounce at the same price. That's a 14% price increase. Kind of interesting that both those work out to a 14% increase. I wonder if that's kind of an industry standard, that they're like, oh yeah, okay, so 14%, it's small enough that people won't flip out about it, but it's big enough over the long haul that it will save us a substantial amount of money. Reduced fat version of family size followed, going from 14.5 ounces to 12.5 ounces, a 16% price increase. Just as companies can shrink sizes and advertise them as new and improved, they can also make sizes bigger and sell them as bonus or value sizes, which may just be the size they were previously. When downsize crosses the line into slack fill. The value size bottle has 30 more servings than the regular bottle for $4.50 more. The regular bottle is the most expensive per milligram, with fewer servings than the value size. The extra strength bottle costs more and has fewer gummies than a regular bottle, but each gummy has twice as much vitamin C. $17.49, $12.99, $14.99. So, the value size is actually, even though it's a smaller dosage, it's actually cheaper than the per milligram, or per 100 milligrams, than the extra strength one. Of course, companies can generally set and change prices and packaging however they wish. There's no obligation for most companies to keep their products the same or quality, just as there is generally no obligation for shoppers to buy the product. And that's what it boils down to, that they've got that fine line that you try and tweak it to improve their profit, either through changing the recipe, taking out more expensive ingredients, substituting less expensive ingredients. But the risk they run is that, if you're used to eating, XYZ crackers, and you get the new and improved XYZ crackers, and not just that they don't taste the same, but they don't taste as good, or they taste about the same as the Best Choice or Great Value brand, you might be thinking, well, the shelf was empty and we had to try that Great Value, and it tastes as good as the XYZ crackers now, so why am I paying extra for the XYZ crackers? So, you definitely risk losing customers over this sort of thing, and driving them to the bargain brands if you cheapen your product, the quality of your product, the taste of your product. Of course, companies can generally set and change blah, blah, blah. I read that. Why are you making me repeat this? Come on, people. I know, self-starter. Communication with customers is the key. Selling less of a product in the same packaging or not communicating changes can lead to business disaster. In 2021, McCormick ended up paying $2.5 million to resolve claims made by customers when they sold less black powder in the same size tin cans. Mondelez famously faced legal action in 2017 over putting more space between the peaks of Toblerone candy bars, and ended up reverting back to their previous shape. Considering more than price, even if a company is clear about marketing a new, smaller product, does that make downsizing a product ethical? They're not forced to do this. It's still knowingly choosing an option that will be less obvious to the public. there's even more incentive now with customers being so sensitive to price increases. And in normal times, I agree that we're accepting inflation. We're stuck with it. I think that we're more accepting of, hey, the price kind of went down a little bit, or the size went down a little bit, the price is the same, it's not that big a deal, versus, like the instance I was referring to before, when you come in and you have the exact same product, same size, same packaging, everything, and suddenly it's, 42% more expensive. People get upset about that stuff because, a couple cents here, a couple cents there at the grocery trip, that adds up, month over month, year over year. I think that's all I'm going to do on this right this second. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw here today, like and subscribe. If not, hey, thanks for hanging in there. Take care. Bye.